June the 25th, episode 3. Let's start with a quick workshop roundup. Just been working on Stuart's early 121. And as you can see, we're just at the end of setting up the wheel geometry. It's been 2 years since we saw Stuart's car, and the caster had slightly drifted back to about 0. So we've increased that to plus 0.5 or thereabouts. And I'm sure you probably have heard me say before, but these cars are very sensitive to caster angle. So do stay on top of your caster angle. And if you think you've got heavy steering, then caster angle is where you want to look, because that's probably the cause. Or very possibly the cause, I should say.
Ball joints, that's always the cause.
Yeah, ball joints as well. But if you've replaced all your unions within the steering and suspension, then you kind of need to make sure that your caster angle is correct. Was there anything else about this car? Yeah, we just did that clutch video. The clutch video will be out on Sunday. Clutch master cylinder. And other than that, it's just a full service. The reverse light relay had died, which they are now, but you can get the genuine one if you, we have had to replace them with a modern plastic Bosch relay, but actually we can still get the originals. If you want to keep your engine bay looking good, we've got the originals, the SR803s. As I say, we replaced his clutch master cylinder, so that's now working nicely. And very little else, to be honest. We're going to replace his indicator stalk, because right-hand indicator's fine. Left-hand, occasionally you have to do a sort of double tap to get the switch to do anything. So that's not quite right, and if it's going to be 2 more years, that's probably going to get worse if we leave it. So we're going to replace the indicator stalk. Okay, that's that car. The 220. So the 220, we had all completed the conversion from single carb LPG to twin carb petrol, and we were just trying to sort out the air filter. Well, we've now sorted out the air filter. Now, I've already talked about panel air filters and why we like them. This is what Roger used to make for us, aluminium filter bases. That's for the left-hand drive, and that's for the right-hand drive to clear the steering column. However, I have now spent a great many hours on 3D CAD and produced a 3D printed base. Now let me just show you the evolution we have to go through to get that. So there's the basic half filter base, and as you can see, this one I designed it from the beginning for a 3-bolt SU, and those are the 2 air balance holes. So that's just a simple 5-sided box with the orifices for the SU. Then we have to flare it out here to accept the air filter seal against the flat surface, like so. There we go. So that's now how that's going to sit there. And at the same time, doing deep fillets, all trying to smooth the airflow. Then came the air filter wall. So the air filter will sit like that. And effectively an air filter ram. So that once again should all assist the airflow to become laminar as it turns this corner. Whereas the original air filter that was like this, the Volvo air filter, the airflow will come in here and start rattling around this sharp corner here, and you'll get a load of eddies coming down here. The more we can go to a trumpet, the more laminar the airflow will be, and the more power the car will develop. And then finally is a little cutout there I hope you can see that. Shall I come in here? There you go. That cutout there, which is to accept the fuel link pipe hose here. In fact, here we go, if I take that off, there you go, which accepts the fuel link hose there like that without compressing it unnaturally. So there we go. That is our air filter base. I'm just waiting to get the dome-headed bolts to go in here. This is just mocked up to show you. On will go the air filter, and then Volvo's genuine air filter top there. Now I'm rather pleased with this design. So that gives us all sorts of ability to fine-tune it, to improve airflows, and to gently modify it to improve it if we find anything needs improving. But it's certainly, it's going to be more efficient than Volvo's original. B, we can make it and modify it infinitely in-house. It takes about 8 hours to print the entire base off in PETG plastic. So yeah, there we go. A product from 3D CAD and 3D printing. Pleased with that. Okay, what else in the workshop? We took Gareth's car out to Southwold last night. All seems to be running well. Seems to be missing a fire extinguisher, so that can't rally without it. They won't allow it through. And the windows wouldn't move at all. Now, in trying to find out why, trying to isolate both the fuse and the relay underneath here. Okay, and in finding this, I discovered that this fuse box is rattling around, and when I rattled it around, a relay was switching off and on somewhere underneath here. So I'm willing to bet this was what caused our 3 DNFs did not finish. That my foot goes pretty close to here. I probably tapped it as we drew into a finish somewhere and knocking off the electrics. So something behind here needs to be sorted. Okay, so that's Gareth's car. Our own cars, PV's back together again with its trim, and just so people realise what car it is, the letters. So that's nice, that's really ready to rally. Oh, apparently it needs an MOT, there you go. But apart from that, ready to rally. Yeah, pleased with that. And what else? Oh, okay. Emma wants me to tell you about UK Customs. What a rant this is. I'll try not to rant. So over here, you can see our German supplier, Scandix. This box here was ordered on last Friday? Thursday or Friday, so it took about 4 working days to get here. Before Brexit, it would take probably overnight, often overnight, but maybe it would take 2 days to get here, and would cost £17 to send. This box here is one of a shipment of 3. The first 2 boxes took about a week to get here. Acceptable, not good, but acceptable. This, the 3rd parcel in the shipment, has taken well over 3 weeks to get here. Border Force then present you with this little ticket stub that has no cross-reference to what shipment they're talking about, charging you for something close on 100 quid for the pleasure of coming through customs. And then a few months later, we'll get most of that 100 quid back from the Inland Revenue. Oh, and by the way, the shipment cost is now up to about 60 quid for a box instead of 17. Now, as you can imagine, this doesn't involve oil or engines or mechanics, and therefore I don't particularly worry about it too much, but Emma does get very upset by it, and actually when you state it like that, you realise just why. And we obviously aren't the only business in the UK that brings in kit from the continent. It is just a nightmare. And if you're wondering why costs appear to be going up, well, so far I think we've absorbed these extra costs and the delays, but we won't be able to do that forever. We lost sound at the end of that last section just as I was about to launch into a tirade about UK customs and border force. Probably best to leave it that way. There we go. That's it. That's the end of our news for this week. Oh look, Zippy's turned up down here, just to prove we do have two Brittany's. Pan round to your left and get both. Okay, thank you. Sunday, I will release the Amazon Clutch Master Cylinder video. So that'll be out on Sunday. Have a good weekend.